Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Kyrgyzstan and the capital of Kyrgyzstan, Bishkek. And I'm here to show you an apartment and do a tour and show you some of the features of the place where I'm staying for a few days. Now this is called an ELITE Apartment. So we're going to go check it out and we're going to see what makes it elite. And it's right here on my left-hand side. So let's head on inside, shall we? Where the apartment is actually located is in the center of Bishkek. Now the actual center is a little bit loosely described. We can literally walk to the end of the street, turn right, walk for about 5 minutes, and the city area is right there. It's actually probably about a 5-6 kilometer radius that makes up the center of Bishkek. There's a lot of places nearby that are literally walking distance. There is a supermarket across the street, 2 minutes walk. There is some street parking right here if you don't want to park undercover for the apartment. These will be people that are just maybe coming for a few hours or just don't want to park underground. So the apartment that we want to go and see is in the middle here of two different buildings that make up the complex. We're going to go to the 4th floor. The building itself is called Alamstroy. This is one entrance for this building, and the underground parking. And then there's an underground parking for the building where we're going to go look at. Now, this apartment is available for daily rent or monthly rent. Then you can actually sign a contract for longer, depending on your situation. Now the actual rent for this place is $500 a month. Now what I found interesting was when I asked about the price, they quoted it in dollars. You could pay in local som, which is the local currency, or you could send the money in dollars if you had a dollar account. There is meant to be lower ground floor shops. The actual shops that are here are actually home improvement stores. One's actually getting remodeled at the moment, and the other one is actually a door shop. It sells only doors, so internal doors, external doors. And this one was a furniture shop at some point. They're now changing it over. There is a couple of very small convenience stores right across the street. There's actually a little one right here that doesn't look so noticeable, but it's a little shop. And then just off in the distance, there's another one. Again, you can walk 3, 4, 5 minutes and you can be at a supermarket. There's actually a bigger hypermarket if you want to walk 10 minutes, literally walking 10 minutes. So this is the underground parking here, which is activated by a button. And then we're gonna head on through the gate here. As the signs point out, there is 24-hour surveillance. There's cameras around the entire building. There's some inside in the hallways for everybody's safety. Now, to get into the apartment, you've got a couple of different options. Now, if you're a visitor and you don't live here, there's a keypad where you can dial the number and it will actually call the apartment. And then inside, there'll be a phone on the wall where you answer and you can open the door remotely. Or if you've got the keys like I do, just press that and it says open. And we just open the gate and head on inside. After you've walked through the first gate, then you come into this very large courtyard, which separates the two different blocks, which are the same apartments essentially. But there's the one here on the left. And you can see here for this side, you've got the underground parking as well. And then on the right-hand side here, this is where we're going to go. Now, it's not a big apartment building if you compare it to Moscow size buildings. It's obviously much bigger than the typical 5-level or 9-level apartments that are throughout the Soviet Union countries or former Soviet Union countries. And then you've got here the nice playground for the kids. Now, this is all very ornately tiled. It's very, very, probably too fancy for tiling. And this kids' play area is very nice. because they've got this rubber matting. Now it's probably seen a lot of use, but it's this recycled car tires that make this rubber matting. They use it a lot in sports grounds and running tracks, like you see on the Olympic running tracks, the same rubber finish. So the kids can run around like crazy. And you've got a few parents right here just chilling out in the shade. And the kids, you know, they're not happy with one playground, they want to go through the fence and to the other playground. There's a little separate one over here for the other apartment. They can literally use either of them. But you can also see the air conditioning units here. So not every apartment has an air conditioning unit installed. It's an add-on or an option that you would do. So some people have done them, some haven't. Now we're gonna head on inside as the kids are all having fun. If you come here in the late evenings, there is 30, 40 kids playing out here. They all obviously know each other and they're all super happy. So this is where we need to go to the entrance. Now there is actually another extra security to get inside the building. So if you manage to get in without the key or the keypad, there's another form of security to come in. So the actual lower level here, and this isn't the best example, there was the intention of having businesses or shops. Now, not all of them have been filled. So, you know, there is a lot of businesses nearby here. We really are in the city of Bishkek. So some of these will stay empty. So there's the ramp here for the ladies with the prams or the men with the prams or push chairs, and then the steps. So coming on inside here, we have another keypad entry. So again, you can actually put in the number of the apartment and call, and then you can answer on the door. And then otherwise, if you've got the key, just press that, open, and then we can head on inside. This is the fire escape stairs. This leads down to the underground parking. And then we've got the entrance right here. There is only one elevator. A lot of the apartments in Moscow have two. They've got generally a smaller one and a larger one, which they call freight and passenger. And they've got these activated lights, which is very nice to save power. There is no mailboxes. This is just the only slot here where the electricity or the gas or the water bill will get placed. You can see a couple of people haven't collected theirs. And we'll jump in the elevator and head on upstairs. So stepping out onto level 4 where the apartment is, there's this big landing area here, or corridor. Now this is actually the stairs that go up or down. So essentially it's an emergency exit. So you can actually just come around this way. Someone did point out in one of my other videos, how do you escape the apartment? So you've actually got these stairs that lead all the way down to the exit on the street level. So that's not a problem. And you can actually see from here the kids' playground that we saw a little bit earlier. The kids are all sleeping. It's Sunday today, so they're obviously all having a sleep in. There's normally dozens and dozens of kids there running around, having fun, and it's completely secure. It's gated, so the kids can play out there even without the parents present. There's usually one or two down there, but a lot of the kids are just down there on their own. So coming to the corridor here, so this is the junction box for the electricity. So that can be read from outside the apartment. And then there's 4 apartments on each floor when you come out of the elevator. This is where we're going to head inside. There is also the fire hose reel. I think that's what you'd call it right there. And this is where we need to go, number 43. So let's head on inside, shall we? Now, to make it easier, I've actually unlocked the door. There's actually 2 keys necessary to open the door. This is pretty standard in Russia and then here in Kyrgyzstan. And these nice solid metal doors, they've got a wood fascia on this side, but these are absolutely rock solid doors. So let's head on inside a little bit further. Now, the one thing to do when you come in, take your shoes off. It's absolutely customary anywhere here in Kyrgyzstan, in Russia, when you come to people's houses. And I'll just close the door behind me. Got this very big entryway, and then leading off to the bedrooms, the lounge and kitchen. First, we're going to go see the bathroom. Now, the one thing I want to point out, and I want everyone to let me know in the comments, now the door handle is on this side, but the light switches are on this side. Shouldn't the light switches be there to make it easier to open and go inside? Is that normal, or am I being a little bit strange in my thoughts? Now, the one thing about this bathroom is it has a big shower. Now, it doesn't have a bath, which is very normal in a lot of Russian apartments, but it's got this cubicle style shower. Now, this actually is very fancy, and then it's got the normal shower head, then it's got the rain shower head, and it's got this digital pad you can just see on the back panel there, and it actually has a steam function, and it's got the jets, and then it's got the spa or jacuzzi function. And it's very fancy. It's got lights. It's actually also got a radio, so you can get radio stations, which is super fancy. It's a lot fancier than my shower in my apartment in Moscow. Now, this may look a little bit out of place up here, but this is a hot water heater. Now, the apartments actually have hot and cold water as a standard, absolutely standard. But in summertime, or depending on the months of the year, they'll switch off the hot water for maintenance. So the actual boiler rooms or the heat exchangers in the nearby area, they'll shut them down generally for about a week for maintenance and for preventative care. Hello. So this actually has its own hot water service when there is no hot water. And what's interesting too is there's no actual wood cabinet here. And it's actually a brick structure that's been tiled over. Now, this is actually very common in Asia. So if you go somewhere like Thailand, Vietnam, Bali, it's the simplest way to build a bathroom cabinet. And they'll even do it in the kitchen sometimes. And you don't have using wood. And yeah, it works. Nicely tiled. So coming around to the hallway, mirrors everywhere. Unfortunately, I'll be in the shots. I'll switch some lights off. Now, there is actually plenty of storage here in the entrance. And every house that I've ever visited in Russia has a shoehorn, the keys to get in and out. And then you can put your coats right here and just general storage. Especially for winter, you'd want somewhere to put your coats. So there's two bedrooms. They're pretty much the same size. There is a slight difference with one of them where one has a balcony, one doesn't. So which one's considered the master bedroom or a second bedroom's a little bit contentious. Now, there's lots of drawers here. So storage for days. Now, in one of the videos, someone pointed out that the apartment that I did the viewing of had 3 irons. Now, I've been told this place only has 1 iron. So unless I see another one somewhere, there's another wardrobe over here. The one thing that's very noticeable in this place is the ceilings are very ornate and very fancy. And they've even got the cornicing here that's different. All the walls are with wallpaper, and it's kind of this kind of embossed wallpaper as well. So it's not the basic kind of stuff. What's interesting too, which I just noticed this yesterday, is there's actually a curtain track in this square here. So you can put some kind of a curtain around the bed, which I'm not too sure why you do that, but I guess it's a thing. And then the other thing that all the apartments have here in Kyrgyzstan, also back in Russia, is central heating. These are the bars. This would have actually been part of the installation when the building was constructed. And then this is the one thing that's actually here standard when you buy the apartment, if it's finished or not finished. And then the view out the window. So we're on the 4th floor. And it's very bright today. The sun's coming in these windows, so I'm not sure how the view is on camera, but there is actually a football stadium here. It's very loosely described. There's actually these five-a-side pitches, which later in the afternoon and evening, they're playing around the clock, essentially. You see a little bit of the view of Kyrgyzstan, and this is actually Bishkek, which is the capital. And they don't seem to want to switch their sprinklers on for the football pitch or soccer pitch. So it's very dry and dusty for their full-size pitch, but they're pretty much playing this five-a-side football on these synthetic grass fields. So, yeah, they're right into their football. I'm not sure what the national sport of Kyrgyzstan is. I feel like it's wrestling or boxing. I'm not sure if it is actually football, but if anyone knows that, let me know what the national sport of Kyrgyzstan is. I should probably do more checking ahead of time, right, before I start talking about things. You'll see again here these fascias on the doors are this kind of finished edges. So it's just the whole meaning of the elite apartment is the extra finishing. This is the room where I'm staying. I travel very lightly, a small bag and my backpack, and that's all. And it has this very ornate pink and red chandelier. And again, these kind of, I don't know if they're called raised ceilings or sunken ceilings. I'm not sure what the name is for those also. Not the best real estate agent, am I, not knowing the names of things? But again, these are all fully wallpapered walls. And my room actually has the balcony. You know, the curtains are kind of pulled on because of the sun coming in the morning. And again, the central heating bar here. So in winter, it's really absolutely necessary. There's some cupboards on the balcony as well. So you can store all your bits and bobs. And this is where you actually dry your clothes. Now I call this a clothes horse. Now, if anyone's got another name for it, I guess it's just a clothes dryer. And pretty much the same view out this window here of the football pitch. It's no different, but this is a fully enclosed balcony. And you could come out here in winter, but it would still be cool. But it won't be cold like it would be outside. So let's keep walking around. There's a fancy door hanger here for your coats and jackets, I guess. I'm not sure what else you'd hang here, but it's pretty neat with the ship. There's lots of little features that you kind of notice every day that you stay here. And that's just that little bit extra. This is where I've set up my little home office for the time being that I'm staying here. Now, I'm going to point out something in the video in a few minutes. But I'm just going to wonder if you've noticed what I'm looking at just as we look here. Now, this would be considered the dining room. Of course, there's a table right in front of us. It's a fairly big giveaway. There's a TV on the wall there. There's pretty much these raised sockets and antenna sockets in all the rooms, so they could be a TV mounted. And there's this very nice built-in cabinets right here that leads to the kitchen, which are very well built. I'm pretty sure these are bespoke. They wouldn't be off the shelf purchased just looking at them. They're just super nice with the glass. And then you come into the very big lounge room. Now, I'm just saying big because compared to my apartment, compared to the other couple that I've reviewed on the channel, there's a lot of space here. And it's got the engineered floors. I think that's what they're called. Wood panel flooring. I guess I should just use simpler words. Now, the one thing that is probably different to Australian apartments is there's the mounting there on the wall for the TV, but the sofas are facing the other direction. The sofas are just wrapped around the room here, which, of course, you know, you can sit anywhere, chill out. This sofa's super comfy. I've had a few naps on this already. And from the outside of the building, you probably saw the curved corner of the building, so these windows here are all curved, looking out to the field again and to the street in the other direction. Now this apartment has air conditioning and it's on 25. It's actually been switched on the entire time I've been here. It is actually nice and cool in here. Outside at the moment, in the last couple of days, it's been about 30 Celsius. This essentially is summertime here, so it's very warm. It's really very comparable to Perth in Australia, where I'm from, and a summer's day in Perth. So the air conditioning is a must. Now there is actually the central heating bars behind this curtain, and there's one behind that sofa as well. So there is multiple ones in this room to keep it nice and warm in winter. And again, these ceilings and all the different cornicings. It's just, it must be I mean, I'm sure people that install ceilings, it's simple, but it can't be a simple thing to do versus just a normal stretch ceiling. So yeah, it just makes it that one level above what someone may remodel their apartment like. So coming into the kitchen, now the one thing that I did notice when I literally came the first day here is how small the kitchen is. Considering how big the actual apartment is physically, the kitchen is very small. Now, it's very nice cabinets, and then you've got the overhead ones here as well. It does actually have a dishwasher right here. So that's nice, dishwasher built in, if you're not going to do your own dishes like I've done. And then on this side, you've got the oven. Now this apartment does actually have gas and electric hot plates. Gas isn't normal in a lot of modern apartments because now they don't tend to install it because of safety, because of the cost to do it. And a lot of people don't use it, but it's in this apartment. So you've actually got induction on this side and then gas on this side. And of course, microwave, fridge, and there's actually a extractor fan there as well. And then we can get a little look out of this window. And there's a kind of older apartment building on the other side. The window's not the cleanest, but that's okay. And then there's an old house down here, but there's we think it's an apricot tree that's got a lot of apricots growing on it just down here. And you can see a couple of other apartment buildings nearby. But it's just strange how big the apartment is and how small the kitchen is. And I wonder, because of this cabinet that they built, it's kind of, there wasn't a wall here in front of us, and the cabinet was built to make a separation. And the one thing that I'll mention now is, if you didn't spot it earlier, is the washing machine is in the dining room. Now, I'll just step back a little bit further. Now, for me, this is very strange. This is not normal. It's not typical. Being that the shower unit in the bathroom is so large, it sort of took the space where the washing machine would be. Now, in most apartments in Moscow, the washing machine, it tends to be in the bathroom or in the separate toilet area, depending on the size of the bathroom. But they put it right here in the lounge room, dining room, and the plumbing runs sort of from the kitchen here and then back through to the bathroom pipes over here somewhere. So is that normal in the world? You know, is it a deal breaker if you were to buy this place or rent this place or move into this place? The apartment also has Wi-Fi as well. That's standard anywhere. Kyrgyzstan, in Russia, in the countries that I've been living in and where I'm visiting now. So yeah, what do you think? This is a nice space. I really like how big this is. I'd probably move the sofas around a little bit. I'd get a TV over in the lounge room. I'm not so bothered about a TV in the dining room area. Being from Australia, we like to sit on the sofa and watch the TV, watch a movie. So yeah, that's just the one thing that I'd change. There is obviously this structural pillar right here. So I wonder the architects needed that and couldn't not have it. So yeah, this is an elite apartment in Kyrgyzstan. So I'm going to head on downstairs and I'm going to give you some final thoughts. Of course, let me know in the comments what you think, especially comparing it to the price of the place. I think that's a big factor in, is this somewhere that you would rent either as an Airbnb or as a long-term rental? So yeah, let's head on downstairs and talk a little bit more about it. I made it back downstairs to the playground and I'm going to head out into the city now, so we're going to end the video just about here. I thought I'd just give a few thoughts about the apartment. So the one thing that I found difficult to understand, that this is called an elite apartment. Now for me this would just be an apartment. In Australia for sure we don't have the word elite, you know, describing somewhere. This is a very typical new modern apartment building. You know, it's been here a few years. You can see a little bit of wear and tear here and there. You know, it's nice and spacious. I mean, for the money, $500 US a month, I think it's fantastic. Obviously based on salaries here and what people earn and spend, it's very reasonably priced. You know, for the location, we can literally walk to the center of Bishkek in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on which direction you walk from here. I need to just go out the gate, turn right again, and everything is right there for me. So it's actually a very good central location here in Bishkek. You know, there is plenty of public transport. You can get taxis from right here. You could park your car if you had your own car here. The only thing for me that's a little bit strange is that washing machine in the dining room. Would it really bother me? No. You know what I mean? If this was somewhere that you were going to rent on a daily basis or a monthly basis, or if it was somewhere that you might buy or move into, I mean, you could modify and change it, but it is what it is. I mean, the kitchen's a little bit small, but again, you know, it's all manageable and livable. It's a 2-bedroom place. I mean, a family with maybe one child or 2 children, perfectly fine. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of my thoughts and maybe what your thoughts are as I try to find my way out. I've got to press the button to release the door. Sorry, I'm not going to do it in 2 takes and make the video fancy. This is how I like to film them. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Let's see how many thumbs down we get. Hopefully not too many. I don't see all the reasons for thumbs downs in videos, but I'll just watch my step here. Yeah, you know, thanks everybody if you're a subscriber to the channel. We're very close to 100,000 subscribers on the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, it's kind of the very end of the video. If you've made it this far and you haven't clicked it, click it away. Yeah, I hope you like the channel generally. There is some other apartment tours. If you haven't seen them on the channel, you could check them out as a comparison. I put another video for you to watch after this one. You can check that out right now. Maybe it's something you've not seen on the channel already. And I'm off on another adventure. Bye everybody.